Now see, uh, today we have to see one more very interesting concept. It's called the charge distribution on body. When we discuss about the charge distribution on the body, then we have to take the different bodies. We can say that we have to go for the 1D, 2D and 3D. So let's see another topic. It's a charge distribution on body. So if we divide in three parts, then one is known as 1D, one is known as 2D and one is known as the 3D. One dimension, two dimension and three dimension. So in case of the one dimension, we will take one straight line conductor. So we just will be take the example of straight line conductor. Here we can say that plane sheet, or here we can say that the anispherical cell. Or sphere. So charge distribution, first here suppose we have a straight line conductor and charge is going to be distributed on it like this. If it's a total length, it's L, we just will take the capital L, and the total charge is Q. So we can consider linear charge density lambda, where lambda is equal to Q upon L. Total charge upon length. So students, keep in your mind, here we use linear charge density, it's a lambda. Linear charge density, it's a lambda. Here we are going to be take any plane sheet like this. It's a 2D object. So it's called as surface charge density. It have surface charge density. It is denoted by sigma. It is denoted by sigma. Again, sigma is total charge upon area or surface area. So we can say that sigma is equal to Q upon A, or sigma is equal to Q upon S. In this manner we can write. The third one, it relate with the spherical cell. So we just simply consider one sphere or hollow sphere in which charge distribution on its surface, and this called as volume charge density. It called as volume charge density, and it's denoted by rho. It are common density. So rho is equal to again total charge upon volume. So here rho is equal to Q upon capital V. So students, see, we have compilation of charge distribution on three different types of the body. One is 1D, 2D and 3D. In case of the 1D, you have to keep in mind it is denoted by linear charge density lambda. Here it's denoted by sigma, surface charge density, and here it's denoted by rho, volume charge density. And charge density means nothing, it is the total charge upon length, total charge upon area, total charge upon volume. So it's a very compiled form of all three different objects. Okay. Now we just go for further we just include one more very interesting topic. It called as electric flux. It called as electric flux. So electric flux is nothing, number of electric field lines passes from the cross sectional area. Number of electric field lines, here we can discuss the electric flux. It's denoted by phi. So number of electric field lines pass from cross sectional area. Some simplifications here. If we can consider this is my cross sectional part of any object, then number of electric field lines like this passes from this object is called as electric flux phi. Here we have to include one more topic or one more thing. It's called the area vector. Student, always keep in your mind, area vector is always perpendicular to its surface. So when we have to denote the area vector, then it always perpendicular to its surface. Just for example, here if we are going to be take the area vector of this, then it's going to be denoted by this area. So in this case, if we just consider the area vector for the electric flux, number of electric field lines passes from this cross sectional area. So the angle between area vector and electric field lines is going to be given like this. So we can consider flux phi, electric flux phi is equal to E dot A. E dot A. Here we use the dot product. Why we use the dot product? Cause the product of this two vector, it gives the resultant, which is the scalar quantity. We already know that when product of two vectors gives scalar resultant, then it's going to be denoted by dot product. So we can write this phi is equal to E dot A. So it is the EA cos theta. So here we can consider the flux which is divided in three different parts. If theta is your 0, if theta is theta means any angle, and if theta is 90. So if theta is equal to 0, then max flux we obtain. Max flux we obtain when theta is equal to theta, then depend on the angle. When theta is equal to 0 means angle between electric field and the area vector is 90, then electric flux will be 0. Electric flux will be 0. So in this manner we can explain the electric flux. Okay, thank you.